match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat children. Pray.
We back. Motherfucking Tough Talk podcast. I'm here, of course, Phil Hunt. Got my co-host here, Ibrahim Khalif. Say what up.
What's good, y'all?
All right. We got a special guest. The most specialist of motherfucking guests, man. This is my fucking brethren. My fucking brother, man. Fucking Jason Scoop. Say what's up.
What's going on, everybody?
Fucking outlaws of comedy,
Ooh,
man.
the outlaws of comedy.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you feel like you're a fucking outlaw of comedy?
I mean, I see. There's the way everybody views you and the way you view yourself.
Right.
And a lot of times, the way we think we're viewed or the way we view ourselves, we realize that that's not how.
Not reality at all.
I'm okay. Frank Terranova said this to me one time. He's like, "Yo, people either love you, like fucking love you, or like want to see your death happen."
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I give people that same feeling of like either, but
That's true.
Every time I see even how mad they get sometimes at the shit that I say, I'm like, yeah, but I made you feel something. Like, don't you feel alive when you hate something?
Yeah. I feel like everybody who has a problem with me either has no talent or just hates themselves.
Like, hating shit, you really feel like Klan rallies, they probably really feel alive. Like, that's probably the most alive anyone could ever feel.
If you think about where they're from, it's nothing to do, and that just keeps them getting up every morning.
Yeah, man.
It's like Folgers crystals and shit for them.
You think they have snacks at the Klan rallies?
Probably. I was watching a documentary years ago, like when I was still in high school, about the Klan, and they're like, if you got hate inside of you, let it flow. And they're
like Dave Chappelle didn't make that shit up.
And they were like,
I hate Dave for that, because Dave did that sketch so good that you can almost never make fun of the Klan anymore.
That's the definitive bit.
Remember when he had the gay KKK and they were just more polite? We think you should leave.
The gay KKK.
They just asked them to leave.
I don't even remember that one. That's good.
The one on Django was hilarious too, though. We was just talking about that.
Okay, on Django.
The Django when he had the KKK come together, and they also and it was like he was showing how he's like, my wife worked hard on these uniforms, and they had the masks and everything like that.
That's funny. I only watched that movie once, but I don't remember a whole lot about it.
That part about the KKK was hilarious, man.
I wonder if anybody ever brings Neapolitan ice cream to the Klan rally and they just stare at it. You got the white ice cream right next to the black ice cream.
Do you think they got Taco Tuesdays?
I don't know.
I almost got into a fucking, well, not me by proxy, into like a fucking brawl when that movie came out. That was when I was dating Crazy Callie. You remember Callie?
Oh, man.
And she was super high, and we went to go see it. And every time they used the N-word, she would be like, start laughing. She'd be like, "Oh, go on, and these two black chicks behind her were like, "Yo, can you shut the fuck up?"
That's
and then
funny.
Callie starts beefing with them, and I'm just sitting there like, Jesus fucking,
that's not the part of the movie that you should be laughing at.
Yeah, she was a real piece of work.
Jason has a type of woman would be crazy.
Yeah.
All races, all signs. Capricorns, Leos, Scorpios, crazy.
It's the one
crazy
thread connecting everybody, man. Would be crazy.
But you started in comedy fucking young too.
Yeah,
so
real
all
young.
the shit you got into, I'm like, who wouldn't at 20?
Exactly. I think back now, like I'm 28 now, and I think back and I'm like, man, I shouldn't have fucked this and I shouldn't have fooled around with that one. But I was just, you're having fun. That's what everybody does. But they're not in such an environment where you're like, with all your coworkers or I don't know. It's just,
well, the motherfuckers that say they wouldn't, it's like, but no one's trying to fuck you, as Chris Rock immortally said. No one's trying to fuck Newt Gingrich.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just like, you would have these like 30-something-year-old men judging you harshly, and I'm sitting in the middle like, at 22, I'd probably fuck those crazy hoes too.
Yeah, and at least I was having fun. At least I wasn't a fucking nerd.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing about comedy is that, back when it was fucking, John Belushi and these motherfuckers was coked up, doing all sorts of shit.
Was
yeah, wasn't it Eddie Murphy that was talking about, who was he talking about? the dude on Comedians in Cars. He was talking about
Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis,
Yeah.
and he was like, "That was coke."
Yeah, that was.
So it was like, you know, back then, and I mean, he wasn't
It was
a comic,
Rose
but in
Bar,
show
right?
business, yeah, cocaine. You know, people didn't really follow the goddamn rules,
And also,
that was the
it
whole
just,
thing.
Even 6 years, I find comedy has changed so much since I started. Like, you
It's
go back to
weird.
6 years ago. I think anything pre-Trump, anytime pre-Trump when the world was less crazy, comics sort of mostly got along. We all had fun. You know what I mean? 2015 till now, I feel like it's become warlike, and it's like men versus women, black versus white, this
Yeah,
versus
it's
that.
weird.
It's everyone's become very tribal, and like it's become a lot less fucking like everybody just used to hang out and have a good time.
Have a
I mean, like
good
we're
time,
just fucking
get
telling
drunk.
jokes and get drunk.
Everybody's sober now.
You know, yeah, everybody's fucking
retelling
sober now and
stories.
you know, like
everything you said you meant. Which, by the way, Chappelle did his speech. I don't know if you guys saw the Mark Twain speech.
Yeah,
Did you guys check it out?
Yeah.
Which he kind of dropped dime on us a little bit. Which he's like, "You think these motherfuckers are joking? They ain't joking. They mean this
They mean
shit."
this shit. But
Which I struggle with because I'm like, damn, I do halfway mean most of this shit I be saying.
right?
Yeah.
This shit is all. That's why I call it propaganda. It's like, nah, it's gonna mislead somebody to do some bad shit or some good shit. But either way,
Nah, I don't even think it's that. I think it's like the pressure relief valve. Whenever you got the tension in society and shit, the comic's job is to be like, I'm gonna say it so you don't have to. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
And then it's like, okay,
that we didn't have the corporate jobs and the 9 to 5 and the
Right.
suit and tie, and we were there so motherfuckers could come at 7 o'clock and let down their hair.
That's the
Right.
point. They're trying to turn comedy into like
Yeah.
corporate
Profession,
America.
right.
Like I'm in a
It's
cubicle,
weird as
like,
fuck.
and I got a dress code. Like what
Right.
the fuck? Like, can we just have fun?
Right.
They print out what you say. Like this week, the comedian Brad Williams, the midget guy,
I was looking
had
for that video.
something about, you know, it was basically he told a story about, you know, sneaking up on a girl, and you know the dude beside him kind of went jokingly, "That sounds like rape," and then moved his chair away from him, and then he kind of replies, well, I think it's been 7 years. And I'm like,
Uh-oh.
you guys watched this and y'all didn't laugh just a little bit?
Yeah.
Like, clearly he's kidding, but I think the joke he was kind of telling was that the dude's dick was so small, she didn't realize a midget switched.
Right.
And I'm like, y'all don't see the humor in
Yeah.
that? And I'm like, why are we acting like this is a fucking sworn deposition or something?
right, yeah.
Like, nah, he probably didn't mean it. And before I could even finish telling the person that, he issued an apology and was like,
that's-
yeah.
See, that's another good fucking point. When you could disagree with it, but don't say it's not funny.
Well, this, exactly. And this podcast in particular, they were smoking weed, you know, during it. And
Yo,
it's like,
that's
this
another
motherfucker's
fucking
2
thing.
blunts in.
Yeah.
And just telling the story and trying to be funny.
Exactly.
And trying to deliver it. It's like,
It's like another Shane Gillis situation. It's like, you know, you do a million podcasts, you're drinking, you're smoking, fucking.
his was a little different because it was like, where's the joke? If you just saying racial slurs
Right,
to
right,
say them, then it's hard to defend you.
Which a lot of people do.
I
But
still
I think
felt
he
like
was-
he shouldn't have lost his job.
but I think he was speaking in the voice of how those people would have spoke back then, because they were
Right.
speaking like in the terms of when Chinatown was first.
Well, yeah, it's all out of context.
So it's completely out of context. I just think that they're taking a lot of industries, not just comedy, but if you look at society in general, they're softening it up so that people who are mediocre could come and
yeah, it's a
be
lot
involved.
of point of view.
You get what I'm saying?
A lot of
Because
point of
If
view.
you can't make fun of Chinatown in New York City, I don't
Right.
want to be alive.
Yeah.
But we coming around the circle. We gonna make fun of Little Italy too.
Everybody,
we coming
everybody.
on up to Soho. we
Right.
making fun of your yoga doing ass.
Right.
We coming on up through the village. We making fun of y'all rainbow asses. We coming on up to Harlem. We making fun of y'all black
Fucking
asses.
Washington Heights
So
and the
it's-
fucking
it's
fried
like, wait your
plantains.
turn.
Everybody.
But I don't know. I think do you think that darkness may be a little correlated to greatness? Only because I was watching a little bit of the Aaron Hernandez documentary before we started here, and I feel like, I don't know, man. To commit murder in between practices, you kind of got to be on your shit, man.
Yeah.
Motherfucker hit a body, went out, caught 208 yards on Sunday.
But the thing is, this is why I always go back to O.J. Simpson.
Always. All
OJ
roads lead back to OJ.
OJ did a murder, drove back, caught the plane. But the difference, what makes OJ such an iconic murderer is he got away with it.
Iconic. Motherfuckers also forget.
He got away with
He's
it too.
the all-time
Did he get away? Did he get out
NFL
First
rusher.
time.
Oh, the first time.
Was it 2 bodies he
It was
had?
2 bodies. It was, remember, he caught a body while in college.
Okay, right.
He
But
got
see,
he got away. He
I
got
thought
off
you told me it
from
was
that.
one guy. He killed two
I might
people.
have.
No. He killed
forgot
somebody
that
in
fact.
college. He got off from that. That was up in Connecticut.
So
Yeah.
he's on
Like
some
that.
serial killer shit.
And then,
Not really.
dude, he was like involved. Like he's
So
affiliated.
what we can take from this conversation is that, seeing as Aaron Hernandez killed not 1 but 2 people in between going to practice and playing games, while OJ had to wait till he retired to start killing. That Mexicans do work harder, people. Nobody has more jobs, and I heard he dug the ditch.
Nobody can take that from him. Nobody
But
can take that from him.
Black killers efficient. 2 in 1 night.
2 in 1 night.
1 night.
We don't like to make 2 trips.
Efficient. Nah. That's wasting gas.
You make us
And
repeat ourselves
he
or
told-
make 2 trips? You a damn motherfucker.
That shit is fucked up when he told AC, keep the car running. Keep the car running. Anytime you see a car running, you're like, oh, some bad shit is happening right now. Like some of these mass shooters, when they go get them assault rifles, it's just like, was the car still running?
I don't even think. No, I think as crazy as them white motherfuckers is that they don't even drive to those mass shootings. I think they walk.
They walk.
Man, that's
That
crazy.
means you're deliberate in your. Like,
Yeah.
That still bugs me about James Holmes is that he brought that movie ticket. The
Oh,
Batman
yeah.
killer.
Oh,
He
yeah,
actually
he bought
paid.
the movie.
He actually paid.
Who the fuck got an
bought
assault
the ticket.
rifle and buys the movie
That's
ticket?
funny.
It's insane.
That's almost like the dude. I saw this video I shared on Facebook. It was a dude who found out his son's martial arts instructor molested him.
Yeah, okay.
So the dude fled the country. So then they extradited him back to America.
The molester?
The molester. So
Okay.
when he's walking through the airport, the father is in the airport.
Yeah.
He's posted up on a payphone. He turns around, as the dude walked by, he turns around, blows his fucking brains out. But the most hilarious part is that he hangs the phone up.
awesome.
I was dying. Yo,
That's gangster, dude.
dude, that is the funniest part of that whole.
That means
blew his brains
yeah.
out, and he was like,
Man, he's been
he
thinking.
like it wasn't like he just threw it back
He
or whatever.
been-
He tried to. He
he been-
put it right back on the
He
receiver.
been
that's
thinking
beautiful.
about that day.
Wow.
Which is funny because even the whole Me Too shit, the only motherfucker to put hands on somebody was the Michigan State guy. What was the motherfucker Larry Nassar that was touching all the little gymnastics girls.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And the father, right in the middle of court, jumped across the table and
Oh,
started
yeah,
smacking
yeah.
the shit. And it made me say, well, he definitely did that shit. A, and B, you like, all these stories, ain't nobody did shit yet. Like, everybody's just typing blogs.
And speaking of that Larry Nassar shit, my other ex, crazy Alex Engelbert,
Uh-oh.
when she disappeared, left the country, went to India, did yoga
God
on
damn.
top of an elephant, came back. I see her at Old Man Hustle, and she's like, oh, Scoop. She's like, I left the country because I was one of Larry Nassar's victims.
Oh,
She
wow.
made up a whole thing about
That's
how
crazy.
she was. I'm like, you weren't even a gymnast.
Bullshit.
That's that
I'd have been
level
like,
of
hit a
crazy.
triple axle right now. Here's some ice skates. Wrong sport.
Wrong
But
sport, like,
you know what I
let me
mean?
see you land
Or
that shit.
do it with what, a triple somersault
Yeah.
real quick?
Jesus.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was some. But that's the type of crazy you just gotta play into it.
That's
There's a few
wild. Yeah,
questions
that's some
and-
role playing
Now,
crazy.
now, just think about how many other sociopaths that are like that will bring
Steve
up
Rannazzisi.
that will who?
You never heard of Steve Rannazzisi?
No.
You know Steve Rannazzisi?
Rannazzisi. No, I know
The
him.
comedian.
He's a
He was a
comic?
comedian.
Lied
White
about
boy that lied about being
running
in
into
9/11.
the tower. Yeah, he lied about running into the tower.
And sold that bullshit for a
he
good
said he
2-3
was
years.
picking up grandmas or out of wheelchairs and running them out and running back in.
Get the fuck
And
outta
he,
here.
but people
Dog.
believed him. He got like,
And
I
got
think, a
all
book deal,
types of work.
all types of work, and all types of. He was doing motivational speeches
Man,
and shit.
he
and it
was
turned out he
wildin'.
fucking made the whole thing
Thing up, dog.
up. The whole thing.
Wow.
Shit was crazy.
I never heard of that motherfucker. Did he go to jail?
No, because that's
No?
not technically not a crime. You're just an asshole.
That fucking
Wow.
dickhead.
He ain't had to give none of the money back either.
Super dick.
Got a publishing deal, all that shit.
Yeah.
There was a
Motherfucker
story.
made Jussie Smollett blush. God damn, that's good. And I'm in SAG. I can't do that good.
There was a book out about a guy that my dad knew. He used to work with. It was called Stolen Valor. It was about guys who lied about being in Vietnam and getting like the Medal of Honor and shit like that.
Oh, you a piece of shit.
Dude, you gotta be a different type of motherfucker.
Yeah, man. That's sociopath shit.
Yeah, now who's to say that a lot of this shit that's going on isn't connected to motherfuckers like that?
So
who's into these grandiose, yes, I'm a victim too. And it's
some of them believe that shit. Some of them are able to pass tests.
Read the book, what the fuck is it called? Damn, it was right there on the tip of my tongue until I said it. Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Subtle Art,
and the author of that starts talking about, I guess in the late 70s, there was some shit called deep retention memory therapy, where they were trying to unlock suppressed memories. And of course, the average motherfucker in the hood ain't getting no deep retention therapy.
Right.
The fuck,
we push that down for a reason.
Yeah,
that's like your function.
And you had the chick that you messing with rub your back up for a little bit, but you ain't fucking getting no deep tension therapy for fucking $2K a week.
Right.
Anyway, of course, rich white people were getting it, and not to their surprise, they started like just taking on memories. And he was talking about one lady in particular accused her father of touching her when she was a child. After all this therapy, he died, and then when he came, he died, and it split the whole family up. And shortly after he died, she admitted, it was just the therapy I was going through. He didn't.
Right.
And it's like,
I saw this other thing that was this documentary about this town in Minnesota or some shit in the 1980s. Yeah. And there was a daycare center, and all these kids were in the daycare center, and the daycare teacher kind of brainwashed the kids and tried to convince them that your parents molested you. And then the kids went and told the cops that my parents are touching me and stuff, and all these parents went to jail in the community, and then 15, 20 years later, it all came out that they fucking all made it up, and these guys were in jail getting raped and shit for 20 years. Wow. The whole thing was made up. I'm talking at least a dozen parents.
This what I be telling motherfuckers, man. Life is stranger than fiction.
It really is. The truth is stranger than fiction.
It'd be a lot of shit that be happening that I'm like, I can't tell if we going forwards or backwards. What the fuck are we even talking about?
It's crazy.
But yeah, that shit was unlocking some horrible memories where some people, that's why I try not to go to therapy. It's whatever, man. Shit happened, but I'm not fucking deeply affected. At least I don't think so.
I do. I think it's bullshit. The funny thing is I find it funny how everyone has mental health issues, but nobody's crazy.
Yeah.
I grew up with crazy was crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean? But everyone has mental health. To be that. Nobody wants to be crazy.
It's almost like a badge of honor now. Right. Everyone's mental health issues.
I find it funny the people that they don't give it to. Like I said, if you're going to give it to these mass shooters and different people, you're going to give them crazy and give them mental health, and then someone like Michael Jackson that they're digging up shit on, and it's okay, I'm not going to say that excuses him touching kids, but I'm going to say you do understand he's a little fucked up, right?
Yeah, 100% fucked up.
Same R. Kelly was molested as a child.
Molested.
And I mean, that doesn't mean you go on to molest people. That's the key thing.
No,
but
sometimes you never know how motherfuckers take it on trauma.
What you're saying
is, if
but I'm saying it doesn't excuse it.
No, it doesn't excuse. Just like it don't excuse them motherfuckers for killing 20 people with an AR-15. But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna give it to them, you don't even, like you said, they don't even look into it for those people.
But that's what I find funny is that, no one would say, well, Michael Jackson had mental health issues. And then, obviously, this whole toxic masculinity thing that you can read 25 articles about James Holmes, Dylan Roof, all these mass shooters, never see any mention of toxic masculinity. But I make one fucking joke about, what's the dude, Billy Porter? One joke about him and his dress / tuxedo, and then here come everybody to call me toxic, and it's see, you only do that shit to me. Now, what's more toxic, me making a joke or a goddamn assault rifle?
I fucking had an encounter with him in Starbucks 3 weeks ago.
Billy Porter?
Yeah, I was up early for a podcast.
I love that you said encounter,
no, let me tell you what happened. So I woke up still drunk. It was one of those mornings because I was up super early for a podcast. And I see him in Starbucks, and he's wearing fucking high heels, and he's got a purse. And I just see him, and without skipping a beat, because you got that extra woke up drunk confidence, I'm like, aren't you famous? And he's like, well, honey, if you have to ask, I guess not. And I'm like, no, I know you from someplace.
Oh my God.
And then he was like, I was like, can I get a picture? And he was like, no picture, but I'll give you a hug. And I was like, okay. It was a nice guy.
Shooting a shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, he's, yeah.
Yeah.
And Jason like, we're dating now.
Like, hey, man, you can't dress like the Riddler and then think I ain't gonna make a damn joke, okay? Fucking just weird. Mass shooting.
Did you see his, he's the R&B singer. Did you see his video?
God, no.
Did you see the video with him
No.
all up on a girl?
Who?
In the video?
Which one?
Oh,
Billy
Billy
Porter.
Porter?
Oh,
he was earning his SAG card that day. That was some acting.
It was his video. He was the singer. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
But you can tell when you're looking at it, you go, everybody was watching the video, you go, oh, yeah, he's gay all the way back then. Like, the way he was around, in some shots, she was just like, just there.
Yeah.
She might as well have been this Gatorade bottle.
Oh, wow.
Hilarious.
She was just, you can tell he just said, look, just sit there.
Oh,
He's going to do his
man.
thing.
I think I'm going to have to fucking Google that.
Oh, look
shit
it up.
now.
Billy Porter's music video. It's
By
hilarious.
the way, white boys, they've been good lately on the mass shootings, you know.
There
They're
hasn't been
chilling.
one in a while.
Which I'm tired of that shit. Like, let's do some old school shit. Serial
Bring
killer.
serial killers back.
Bring that shit back, you know. That shit was
Too
personal.
many cameras around.
Motherfucker learned your birthday, your work schedule.
Too much work involved.
Romantic.
There's too many cameras around here in New York, but if you go to, I don't know, Ohio.
Jeffrey
I don't know how
Dahmer,
it
he
was.
brought his victims drinks. That motherfucker got you drunk first.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Just,
Which
these
one was
motherfuckers
that?
don't have no
He was a
manners.
gentleman.
Jeffrey
They're-
Dahmer.
That's what I'm
If
saying.
you can't catcall, you
That
can't
was
be
the
a
one with
serial
8 people,
killer.
right?
They don't. They don't.
You have no interpersonal skills.
That's what I'm saying.
No man walking around now has. Young men have interpersonal skills. They don't. They're
Mass
awkward as
shooters.
fuck.
That's
So
true, a lot of them, yeah.
it usually look what they say about Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer. All
Charming.
of them, charming.
Charming.
They knew how to
But
talk
that's
to
what I'm
people.
saying.
I guess, yeah, they don't have the fucking charm enough.
So if you take away catcalling, you take away all of this. You
Right,
know,
how are you
us
gonna
just-
serial
how you
kill?
gonna
You
serial
gotta
killer?
Ah, you got a point. Technology ruined the serial killer.
Yeah.
Which, I was thinking about that.
Because you
shit
need
the
an
other day.
imagination to be a serial killer. You need an imagination.
Creativity.
There was
A lot of those
and-
motherfuckers are well read.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They did a lot of research.
There was some mystery involved.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers now have no manners. They just come in
If
a
you
public
get-
place.
Go ahead.
Shoot
I was gonna
everybody.
say, I had a theory on mass shootings that I just came up with a couple of days. I think the reason why there's less mass shootings is because it's not exclusive anymore. There's been so many mass shootings.
It's
become
You're not a
hack.
star
That shit is
anymore.
become
hack.
Yeah, it's
Hack.
become hack.
You know
You're
what I
not
miss? Good old fashioned cult killings, man. What happened
Cold
to
killings?
that shit?
Cold killings?
No, cult.
Cult killings.
What
Cult
happened to
killings.
that shit?
Imagination.
40 motherfuckers
Technology has
dying
ruined
together.
it.
Yeah, it
Oh, you
has.
mean like
Same.
the shit in Guyana?
All that shit.
Jonestown? That
You know
shit?
they say
Yeah.
this motherfucker
Or
got
Charles
people to.
Manson.
He got people to drink Flava-Aid, and that should be the commercial for Flava-Aid. It should have been
Who's that?
Jim Jones.
Oh, Jim
Jones.
Jones, yeah.
And he becomes your mascot
Dude,
then. Not Kool-Aid, because people always say
Oh, it's
don't
Flavor-Aid.
drink the Kool-Aid.
Right.
It was actually Flava-Aid.
Flavor.
Have you ever listened to one of his speeches?
No.
That motherfucker was charismatic.
Jim Jones?
Yeah. I've heard of him, but I never heard a speech.
Yeah.
Dude, he was like The Rock.
Right.
I swear he wore shades. He had like the sideburns. He was like that motherfucker was
See,
like
that I can understand. I never understand
He
all
wore
these people that
shades, he had
they
the
tell you we're
side-
charismatic.
he was like the Versace Rock. I swear to God.
Ibrahim,
The
we might
motherfucker had
have
the
to-
voice, and I was like, yo, I can see why
I
these
can-
motherfuckers drunk.
yeah.
If we see
Drink
Ibrahim
the
getting a
Flava-Aid.
passport, we gotta stop this motherfucker.
No, cause you
Like,
know,
no, it's not worth it,
No,
dude.
what I'm saying is like motherfuckers be sitting there like, how did anybody? That's white people, blah blah blah. But then I saw there was black people, and I was like, I ain't getting niggas to follow.
That's
then
what
I had
was
to,
unusual.
then I had to
Black-
watch it. Then I had to
black
watch it. I was watching the shit, and I was like,
Oh no, this
this motherfucker's charismatic.
That's
Like,
real shit.
yeah, he had the voice like The Rock from
Now
the
I gotta
90s,
look
and I'm
this
like,
shit up.
bro,
This guy now.
this why this motherfucker was got all those people together.
Yeah.
It was
So
wild,
we see
yo.
Ibrahim getting the Flava-Aid. We know what's happening. Which you gotta die after you drink Flava-Aid. Like you would get clowned for having that shit in the cabinets when I was a kid. They'd be like, this motherfucker is 10,
Poor, this motherfucker poor as hell.
10 more cents for the Kool-Aid, man. You can't afford the fucking
That's
Kool-Aid.
fucking poverty, dude.
Fucking
You can't even
Flava-Aid,
afford Kool-Aid.
yeah.
Jesus
What was
Christ.
the other bullshit
60
that?
people.
I'm gonna tell you what was another status symbol was cereal.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, I grew up, man. If your mother bought you Kabooms or
Boy,
King
bruh,
Vitamin, she did not love you.
King Vitamin, yeah,
It's
that was the
worst
welfare
fucking
cereal.
ever.
We used to make fun of that shit. That shit was like Lucky Charms gone bad. Had this out of work clown on the box.
Captain No Crunch.
Kaboom.
Oh, you got Kabooms?
Kaboom was
Kabooms
the
was
worst.
horrible, yo.
Yeah.
It tastes like the box.
And King Vitamin was Captain Crunch without the berries.
Okay.
But worse, as soon as it hit the milk, it went soggy.
Yeah, that's
It was like
bad.
you throw up.
It's fucking nasty. It's probably chemicals in there too.
Remember
China,
going-
and they don't have regulations and shit.
I remember going over my cousin's house and he had that shit, just being like, man, couldn't wait to get home. Like, this shit is bad.
Even if you eat it
you ain't
dry.
no king eating this shit.
Even if you ate it dry, it sucked.
Yeah,
It was like
it's bad.
horrible
How's it
ass
still
cereal.
soggy and it's dry?
Do they still sell that shit? Is it still around?
Oh, it's around. It's all
I don't
around.
know.
You go to the dollar store, yeah, they got all that shit.
Oh.
I'm gonna tell you what's the because I grew up in poverty. The dopest poor motherfucking cereal was Crosdale's Marshmallow Stars. Nigga, I would buy that today. Like,
All marshmallows.
Marshmallow
Your
Stars,
fucking blood
bro.
is half
It was like
sugar.
Lucky Charms,
Okay.
but for poor motherfuckers, and it was the best cereal. I bought 2-3 boxes of that shit when I was a kid. I was like, hey, give us that. Even when we start having money, I was like, yo, buy that shit right there.
What's your guys' favorite real cereal?
Mine is Cinnamon Toast Crunch, man.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Yeah, I still
That's
eat
up
that
there.
shit.
I'm gonna tell you what I love cereal. Like right now, I eat like healthier shit. But yo, when I'm like not giving a fuck about my body, have you ever mixed Reese's peanut butter puffs with Cocoa Puffs?
No, I don't mix.
You're a mixer.
Bruh, if there's some pussy better than that, I don't want it. I don't want it. That's the shit right there.
Yeah.
You're a
That's the shit
fucking
right
I might,
there,
I might
bro.
have to try that.
Bruh.
Yo,
I'm a Captain Crunch guy myself.
Captain
Peanut butter
Captain
crunch.
Oh, peanut butter crunch.
but as
I like
the-
just Captain Crunch with the berries.
Really?
Yeah.
as the late Ralphie May taught us all, it cuts the fucking roof of your mouth. We all know this.
What, peanut butter crunch?
So
or
you
Captain
like
Crunch?
pain also.
You know, it is. Yeah,
Captain
I guess it
Crunch
could.
always fucks up the roof of your mouth.
I even like Captain Crunch when it would get a little soggy. If you
Ugh,
leave it and
man,
come
man.
back to it, yeah.
I like the special Captain Crunch, like Christmas Crunch. That shit's good.
Okay,
You
Christmas.
can give that
Okay.
shit to somebody as a gift, and they'll take that shit.
They came out one time with Oops All Berries.
The berries still.
All berries?
No, they still got that shit. It's
Is it around
in
still?
the stores? Yeah.
But it was like in select stores and shit. Like you couldn't find it.
Had to drive around
Never
and look
seen
for
that, but I would
shit.
definitely
I
invest
could
in
eat a
that.
whole box of honeycomb. I'm a cereal motherfucker.
Honeycomb?
Yeah,
When
cereal's great.
When I moved out
Fantastic.
on my own, that's all I bought because I couldn't cook.
Yeah.
Like that's all I bought was cereal. It was
Yeah,
great.
you can't fuck up cereal.
No.
No,
fuck
you
up
really
cereal.
can't.
You really a special motherfucker. So, Jason, you from Long Island?
Yes.
What part?
Levittown.
Levittown.
Yeah.
Okay,
Big
cool,
donuts.
cool. Fucking Levittown, man. How was it growing up there? Like, kind
Levittown-
of middle class?
Yeah, middle class, very blue collar. Everyone's dad was like a contractor or a construction or electrician or a plumber. It was very Italian.
Those are all the good racist jobs.
right.
Where you're outside, so there's nobody to even record the shit you're saying.
Right, that you're saying. Yeah, I was. Well, I'll tell you this. The main thing, I was always kind of different because I wasn't Italian or Irish. Everybody else was Italian or Irish, but I fit in. You know, because everybody was cool.
Yeah,
know?
you guys can't see Jason, but Jason's clearly not white. But you really can't.
Yeah, I'm
see-
ambiguous. I'm
you
very
really
ambiguous.
Can't tell what the fuck Jason is. You almost gotta ask.
Yeah, very ambiguous.
And still not believe him.
And still not believe.
Yeah, you're still like, I don't know. I'm not sure.
The thing is, I'm a weird mix because, well, my mother's from Trinidad, and Trinidad is in itself a weird mix. Forget like my dad being Polish, like just my mom herself is a weird mix. You know, it's a mixture. It's white, it's black, it's Indian. Those are the three things. And then my dad is like Polish, but like really fucking Polish. Like he's
Really
like
fucking
he's like red.
Polish.
He's not even white. He's red. Like he's like blue eyes and blonde hair. And
He's not even white.
he's red. He's red. You look at
Just
pictures of my
sunburnt
dad. He's
all the
fucking
time.
like red. Even in the winter, he's kind of like red. He's very like his veins are so blue and they stick out. And yeah. And so
His
I.
dad's listening. He's like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? I even get offended.
Call
It's
me
fucking-
red, motherfucker. Nah, your dad can never get offended.
Yeah, he's
Your dad's a blogger. I'm talking shit, but because God knows they're all always offended.
No, yeah.
Tyler Perry need to give me a job. What?
Nah, my dad's cool, but yeah, I grew up in Long Island, and that was can't complain about that.
What made you get into comedy, man? Like, who was like your
I was
influences?
always really good at imitations. I always, especially when I started watching Saturday Night Live, Daryl Hammond, when he would do Bill Clinton and he would do Regis Philbin and even Trump back then, and everybody who was hot back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Daryl Hammond was like, he's probably my biggest, he's probably the reason why I'm here right now.
Dope.
Watching him do what he did.
I have to check him out. I didn't watch SNL a lot growing up.
He was.
It just missed me, but I'll have to look him up. But that's, you do some great impressions, and Trump is one of the ones you do.
Yeah.
In fact, Jason kind of predicted this whole Trump thing. He has a tattoo, tattoo
guys.
that he got pre-election.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite stories because nobody could steal this shit. I love to have a joke that's a story, a personal story, because nobody can steal that shit. Basically,
hey man, Steve Rannazzisi is out
that
there.
piece of shit. Yeah, he's gonna fucking he'll go. Man.
If you think he won't steal a 9/11 story, he'll steal the fuck out of a personal story.
Basically, to make a long story short, the day Trump announced he was running, and everybody kind of laughed and thought it was a joke. I certainly did. I got hammered that night.
We all did.
Yeah,
man.
I got hammered. Did you though?
Yeah.
Everybody says that now.
No, I can pull it up on Facebook. I told everybody.
That's
okay,
great.
fair
It's
enough.
in my memories.
So meanwhile,
I see that.
that night, I'm sitting at a bar in the East Village. There's a copy of the New York Post there with Trump's face in clown makeup. And I'm like, and it's got all his quotes around it. It's like, I'm going to build a wall. Mexico's going to pay for it. And I'm laughing my fucking ass off. And this idea just hits me. I'd never gotten a tattoo in my life. I'm like, yo, what if, I'm crazy now, but I was crazy back then.
Yeah.
And I'm like, 8, 9 tequila shots in. I'm like, yo, what if I got a Trump 2016 tattoo? So my buddy goes, yo, if you get that shit, I'll pay for it. Because that's how crazy it was.
So tequila makes you like
tequila,
Trump.
Yeah, tequila makes you like
recipe.
tequila got Trump
November
elected.
6th. Drink you some tequila and head on down there.
So him, Melissa Diaz, another good comic friend of mine, and her boyfriend, who wasn't even her boyfriend at the time, they all chipped in $50. So I think my tattoo actually brought them together. They're now like madly, deeply in love. They've been together since back then.
Fucking Trump brings people together.
Yes, he does. So we go to the tattoo place. There, it's like so late at night. It's like 3:50. The guy's closing shop. And we're like, yo, can we get a tattoo? And he's like, no, coming back tomorrow. They're like, no, you don't get it. This guy wants a fucking Trump 2016 tattoo. He's like, I'll open back up for that. That's crazy. He even called his son who lived down the block. He's like, son, you have to come.
And he
He's
was
the guy
foreign?
who wanted he was like Italian.
You can't call
He's
that
like,
son no
he
more.
wanted Trump his tattoo. So he come, and it was funny is like Trump was railing against Mexicans. The dude who did it was like a Mexican. His name was like Pedro and shit. He was like 3.5 feet tall. He was like, yo, this is crazy. And I'm like, I know. And then, long story short, I ended up meeting Trump because he did a book signing, and I'm like, yo, this is perfect. The media will be there, I'll get publicity out of it, and like it all worked out. And like I showed it to him, and he was like, this kid, look, that's a big deal. Look, tattoo, it's a big deal, and I know deals. I wrote the art of the deal. Look, I gotta win the election for this kid. And so I fucking got a ton of gigs out of it, a ton of radio interviews, press. It just it did wonders for me at the time.
Everybody voted for him, but nobody will admit that they voted for him. It's kind of weird.
Well, that's what I say. My joke is being a Trump voter is like being gay in the 50s. Because I ask every audience, I'm like, did anybody here vote for him? I'm like in the middle of Ohio. I do the research every town I go to, to see the town. They're like, they voted for Trump 89%. I'm like, did anybody here vote for Trump? You could hear a fucking pin drop.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like being Ja Rule fans, where people just don't admit it. It's like the motherfucker sold 6 million albums.
6 million.
And y'all acting like didn't nobody buy it. Now the guy's a punchline, and everybody's just like, nah, this dude's a joke.
He's like, he wasn't a joke like 10, 15 years ago, motherfucker. He was the hottest thing going.
Yeah.
So what age did you actually start comedy?
I started comedy the summer. I do. The summer I graduated high school, so that was the summer of 2009. But I was like kind of just dipping my toe. Like I can't speak for anyone else, but I know a lot of other comics I've spoken to. You start, but you tell people I'm a comic, but you're doing like 2 mics a month or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that like my first year or two, and then by the third year, it was like, all right, I think I should really do this. But I was also young, so I couldn't even get into this shit. A lot of times, I remember like going sneaking in the back of a play.
Yeah, I had to do
literally
that shit
getting
too.
on stage and then
I wasn't 21 yet. I was like,
put the fuck out.
Yeah, I was
so.
like 18. I had to have like, because someone sponsored me. Like, okay, I'm watching them. Like,
Yeah,
to enter
yeah.
a bar in New York City. That's like the law here.
Hilarious.
And, yeah, man.
Dope. So you started. Where did you start? Like in Long Island?
I did an open mic at this coffee shop in Long Island, and like, you know, I thought I did good, but I was probably like fucking terrible at the time. But my first city open mic was at Stand Up New York.
Stand Up New York.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. That's where I met Nico. Nico was the first comic I ever met.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And
At
you guys
Stand
are
Up
like
New
the
York.
same age, aren't you?
Yeah, man.
That's dope, man.
Yeah. So
Fucking Stand
Nico
Up
was
New
like
York.
one of my first friends that I met, and yeah, man.
Cool. So what? 7 years now? 8 maybe? How many
Something
years?
like
I
that.
can't count. I'm 4. Damn near 10.
Yeah, I would say 7, taking it seriously, like about 7 years.
seriously?
Yeah.
Cool. Dope shit, man. So back to Long Island, like, did you when you growing up, you getting like a lot of fights and shit?
I got in
Comedians
2.
usually do because we're wise asses.
I got in 2 fights. One was with this kid, and it was the dumbest reason. We were learning about this kid, Brian.
You don't have to say his name.
No.
Like, don't indict yourself.
Yeah. But he was like this goofy fucking Irish kid, and we were learning about evolution, and we all know evolution is like the story of the monkeys into humans. So I just said that he looked like a monkey, and he wanted to fight me. So long story short, he was, I didn't know how to fight, so he kind of.
Nobody knows how to fight.
I don't want to say he kicked my ass, because he didn't kick my ass, but I was just unprepared. And the next day we were like buddies again. But long story short, he's in jail now for 6 years.
I like how you said that like a real true fucking hater.
Like he had something.
Yeah, you said it
No,
like
I mean,
he
I
had
feel bad for the guy,
something
because
to
he's
do
a
with
good guy. It was
Do
just
you really?
It was.
I feel bad for the guy. Do you really?
I mean, this was such sophomoric, stupid 9th grade
But
high school shit.
That's why it's funny.
Yeah, that's why it's funny.
So it was in high school. So you said he looked like a monkey. Did he say anything back?
Yeah, he was just like, he immediately he's like, yo. He's like,
That's when the
he's
tough
like,
talk began.
yeah, he's like fucking, I mean, this is so
Obviously
long ago.
can't
But he
remember
basically,
exactly what he
at
said.
that moment, I think we had a substitute teacher too, so the teacher wasn't really paying
Oh,
attention.
that's
to what
great.
going on.
The sub
He's
was
yo,
like, they don't
what?
pay me for this
And
shit.
then like the whole school came and shit. And
The
then,
whole school?
Yeah, like half the school. And then it got dispersed because like the guy who like mowed the grounds, like the lawn and shit saw
The
it.
janitor?
And then so we all had to fucking disperse because then like the cops pulled up, so we all ran. And then the next day we were in the fucking principal's office and shit. And then we were cool the next day. But anyways, he's in jail for 6 years now for vehicular manslaughter.
God damn.
He was he was like,
He never let go of you calling him a monkey.
Nah, the dude
Yeah,
was
he
crossing
never
the
like-
street and was like, "What's up with you fucking monkey?"
Yeah.
And he ran him the fuck over.
yeah, no, man, it's
Like,
even-
why does everyone keep
it's
saying that?
even more
His
fucked-
arms were dragging the ground.
It's even more fucked up because it wasn't a pedestrian he killed. It was like his best friend who was in the passenger seat, and the
Oh,
car
shit.
flipped over like 6 times, and he killed the kid. And then,
Damn.
yeah, that was like his best friend.
But the kid did say he looked like a monkey. So
probably-
fair enough.
He probably
Said, "Oh, I got something for you, motherfucker."
yeah, so I
So
guess.
did he like? Did you get in a hit? Did you hit him?
Yeah, I got in a couple hits and shit.
He swung
But
first, or you?
I actually swung first, but I was so fucking inexperienced. I like hit him in the shoulder, and then he gave a bunch of like a bitch,
You
man.
hit him
I was
in the
such a
shoulder?
fucking. And
Nah,
then
no one
and then
teaches us how to
And then he
fight.
got a bunch of headshots in, and then yeah. And then like I was almost kind
Headshots
of
are good.
dodging.
You
I was
need
like
those
dodging
for-
a lot. I
you
was
need
like, oh
those for
shit. I was almost
comedy.
kind of like running and shit. And then that probably lasted maybe like two minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes, and then that's when the janitor and the cops started to come by, and that's when everyone dispersed.
Took a
and
couple
shit.
headshots,
Yeah, I
and
took
then
a-
you were like,
yeah,
"All right,
couple headshots.
let me try to use my legs here." You were doing the Urkel
Yeah, I
shuffle.
was doing the Urkel
The
shuffle.
fucking Urkel shuffle. Started
The
fucking
Urkel
dancing.
shuffle.
Yeah, man, that's what's weird about fights. Like, it's like people don't train you for confrontation or
Yeah.
prepare you for confrontation. That shit just happens.
Yeah. And then
Like
the other
you're
one
deep in.
was this kid Abhinav Shawarma, this Indian kid.
God damn.
And he was like trying to, he was like texting my girlfriend at the time. This was like my first high school girlfriend and shit. And he was basically like lying about shit. He was like, oh, Scoop fucking said this and that.
He was Dirty Mackin'.
Yeah, he was Dirty Mackin'.
I hate Dirty Mac.
So at
That's
the time,
the worst.
we both worked at the Honey Baked Ham. It was like a seasonal job. So
Already
like,
funny.
and like that shit got me
God,
so
I
heated.
hope you say you hit this motherfucker
So
with
that
a
shit
ham.
got no. What happened was I grabbed a broomstick. like a
shit.
mop, and like I fucking like swung at him with the mop and shit. And at this point, I was in favor at Honey Baked Ham because the boss liked me and shit. But she was like, "No, get the fuck out! I'm gonna call the cops!" And they had to like drag me out and throw me out. And I think they fucking threw him out too, but after me. So I was gone at the time. And then we fought outside of Dunkin' Donuts, and that was more of an equal fight.
Some very Long Island shit.
Yeah.
Everything's outside of a strip mall.
Right. And literally a strip mall, the Dunkin' Donuts there and shit. And that was more. I would say that was more of an even. I don't want to say I won. Maybe I won. I mean, I don't know. He was like a chubby Indian
Did you
kid.
hit the
So
kid
he was.
first? Did you tell him why first? Like, yo, you texting my girl?
Yeah, there was conversation.
He knew.
And then
He knew what it was.
Yeah.
As soon as
He
he
knew.
rolled up,
He
he
knew.
knew why you wanted to do.
Yeah.
I was supposed to fucking smash this girl anyway. And then, long story short, I remember she came back to me and she was just like, yeah, they said like you were talking about how you're gonna fuck the shit out of me and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, huh? I never said any of that.
That's some
and then I'm
bullshit.
thinking, because I only told like 2 or 3 people and I never could figure out who the fuck it was. And to this
Somebody
day, I
set
wake
you
up
up.
out of my sleep like, who told her all
Next
that
to his
shit?
woman.
you up,
Next
bro.
to his
Yeah,
woman.
right.
Hey,
Fuck
hey, yeah, I still like
Somebody set you up, and it was probably a friend, bro.
I
It was
missed out on
probably
some
a fucking
pussy,
friend.
and
'Cause that
somebody got
Avanov
money,
kid was a friend.
she would
Okay.
never tell me who it was. That's the worst way to get some pussy. If like,
Yeah, it's-
if
But
any of you dudes is listening, and that's what that's kind of shit y'all be doing, just know that that's just gonna come back to you.
Yeah.
That shit is the worst. That shit still wakes me up in the middle of the night. It's just
Yeah.
like, who said these things? And I was, and she was kind of a hoe, but who cares?
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
That's
Even if
funny.
I did say that.
Yeah. I was never much of a kisser and teller. Because then,
That's the
then-
worst
yeah,
shit.
then you build a level of trust with these chicks. Like, oh, okay, he doesn't talk.
That's like that Aziz shit that I read where I'm just like, you're kissing and telling. Shut up.
Yeah.
Like, this is your personal business. Like, no one needs to know this, and you know how big his dick is and how much shrimp you ate. Like,
When she said that was the worst night of my life, I'm like, you've had an amazing fucking life.
Word
fucking
up.
life.
And like, she's like, we met at an Oscar party comparing vintage cameras.
Yeah, and
And
she
I'm
was
like-
there with the dude. That
Yeah.
was the odd
And
part
I'm like,
to me.
If you're at an Oscar party or an Emmy, whatever
And
it
it's the
was,
worst
and you're
night.
comparing fucking like $700 vintage fucking cameras
Yeah.
with stars, and you're gonna, and then and then he takes you out and buys you lobster and shit, and comes on a little too strong. It's like, dude, just, and then she's like, I gave him non-verbal cues, man. Just shut, like, what the fuck? Like,
But
he's
I,
going through
fuck is
something.
that?
I felt like that was when the tide turned a little
Yeah.
bit, because you did even have some women come out and say, all right, chick, this was
Yeah.
You had a lot of
Clearly-
women come out and defend
clearly
Aziz
a
on something. You had a
bad-
fucking CNN anchor be like, yo, this
Clearly
is
a
some, she
bad
looked right at
day.
the camera and
Yeah,
she'd be
this
like,
is
yo,
some
this is some bullshit.
I feel like she killed Randy though, because that character I haven't seen since. Remember his last special? He was really serious. He was serious. He was doing jokes,
Aziz?
like really
I didn't
talking like almost as himself.
Yeah.
It was a little strange, but
Yeah.
it was dope to see. But it was also like, wait, what happened to the silly guy, man, that sings R. Kelly songs?
Yeah.
Which he addressed that shit too. But yeah, man, fucking Long Island, man. So two fights.
2 fights.
So you feel like you went 1-on-1?
Yeah, probably. I would say so.
That's pretty damn good, man.
Yeah.
That means Long Island is a pretty safe neighborhood, man.
Well, you know, I mean, I avoided it. I wouldn't. There were a lot of fights all the time. There were fights in the cafeteria. There were fights. I avoided shit for the most part because I was just the funny guy, man.
Yeah.
The funny guy gets out of shit.
But also sometimes people go, oh, I'm gonna kick your funny ass.
Hell. Oh, funny man.
Like, I remember there was one time these twins jumped this dude, which we was out of the bar, and I know they had the dude the whole time he's getting his ass kicked. He had to be thinking like, how many drinks have I had? There's 2 motherfuckers that look exactly alike kicking my ass. But I remember right after in the parking lot, the dude looking at me and going, don't you say shit. And I'm like, why? Why you think I'm going to say shit? But we forget it's because we're like the town criers. We always are fucking joking around and shit. Like, I remember another time in school, it was this fucking fat kid. You made me think about this shit because you were talking about fighting at school. It's this fat kid. His name was, I'll say his last name was Wilderby. So I used
kid named
Wildebeest.
So what do you think?
Wildebeest.
I used to call him Wildebeest.
That's funny.
He had these shoes, these fucking gym shoes, and I used to say they look like they used to be skates. I think he like bumped into me or something, and then he said some smart shit. I had glasses, 4 eyes, some typical shit, and then I fired back like 2 or 3 times. And then after that, it was like, nah, fuck that, because you bumped into me. You didn't say sorry, called me 4 eyes, made fun of me, so now I'm fucking, and everybody's just laughing. And then the next day, I'm thinking like, you know how you go home and you lay down and you think, how am I going to get this motherfucker tomorrow? Let's turn up the heat. Man, I get to school the next day and the teacher called me over to her desk, and then we had to go out into the hallway, made me apologize to him. His mother was there and said that he was at home crying.
What?
And I'm just like, yo. Like, damn.
What?
He's
Yo,
a
that
blogger
reminds
now.
me of a story. Another fat kid. This kid was Vincent something. He was fat as fuck. I made him switch schools
God damn.
over some bullshit. Basically,
switch schools.
It was just unfortunate timing. This was around the time Columbine had just happened.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, I was very, so I had to be like 6 or 7, and I was very like still creative and like not very mature. Like I was just like still lived in like this fantasy land. So basically the movie Batman and Robin with Arnold Schwarzenegger had just come out, and I was going around being like, I'm gonna build a freeze gun.
Yeah.
You know, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Totally innocent. You know, he had that cool, you guys remember the movie.
Yeah, he had the fucking gun.
Everything would freeze and shit. So I was going around blabbing about the freeze gun, like I guess this was a couple days before Columbine, and then Columbine happens, and now this kid freaks out. So he tells his mom, he's like, yo, this kid was saying he's gonna bring in a gun, right? So I was so shy, believe it or not, I was shy up until 3rd grade. So the teacher's like, did you say you were gonna bring in a gun? I was like, yes. I was like, I didn't fucking know.
A freeze gun?
Yeah. I didn't even say freeze gun.
Right.
So now they bring the psychologist and the principal, we're having a meeting, and my mom is there, like, and the thing is, like, it all got, solved. I told him I was just joking about, the Batman movie and everything, but that kid's mom or dad, parents got so freaked out that they took him out of the school.
Right.
They put him in a different elementary school in the town.
That's so
and then
fucking
and then in middle school, we all, because in middle school, they would take all the elementary schools in the town. We'd all be together in the big, giant middle school. But he told me, he confided in me years later, even after that. He's like, no, man. He's like, I switched schools because of you. He's like, it was because of that shit that you said. My mom thought you were going to kill me.
That shit used to...
When did fat motherfuckers become so soft?
I know, right?
I mean,
That's funny, because that's literally like an
what they are.
oxymoron.
Yeah, literally, no pun intended. But when did they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They used to be some of the funniest motherfuckers.
Right.
Like,
A lot of them are.
I used to be around a lot of, like, the fat motherfuckers. Ain't nothing you can say to offend them.
Right.
Because it's already, it came down to, they already knew
They already knew what was coming.
And they were funny to deal with
And
the
they'd
fact that they were
almost be
fat.
Yeah.
But it all depends, because the fat guy gets told he's fat all the time. And I mean, shit, I do a joke about it of like, it's almost a part of their name. Where it's like, nobody's ever supposed to mention that the girl's fat. And that's a whole nother thing. And, body shaming and all that.
We're not supposed to
bullshit.
sit here and acknowledge the fact she looks like spilled detergent.
The elephant in the room, which, speaking of... that's a horrible transition. God, I'm going to get killed. Did you fucking hear Lonnie Love and this bullshit?
Yeah, I already got into a debate with some
she
chicks
was saying
on a podcast
about what the fuck
black
was
men saying that they
black
cheat
men
because of slavery.
cheating
We don't know how to
because
be
of
in committed
slavery, and I think
relationships
Kevin Hart started all of this
Because of his documentary.
which I love the documentary. The documentary was dope. This motherfucker is in fucking Rome and doing everywhere, fucking all over the globe, sold out shows, fucking arenas. That shit's dope. But I did find it a little bit funny during the documentary when he kept like acting like the cheating thing was so big, and it's like he acted like he couldn't control it. Like all you had to do was not fuck that hoe. Like none of this would have happened. Although I say he is the best.
Motherfucker, listen.
What, the Kevin Hart
The best
documentary?
at taking his life and making it a
comedy?
fucking movie and making it comedy and making money off of it. Basically, like his mistakes, he fucking capitalizes off of and fucking monetizes his own mistakes. That shit is amazing.
Yeah, he's a good businessman. He's savvy. He's savvy when it comes to that.
But nah, for what she was saying of what did she say? Black men cheat
because of slavery.
Which is the dumbest shit. That's like somebody saying they cheat because of the Holocaust.
Right. Then why does
like,
why does every other race of guy cheat? Also, I mean, that's retarded. Because I'm like, I mean, fucking.
But I never take what dudes or girls say about each other, like. With the exception of like a bad date here or there, like, yeah, this motherfucker was this, or he smelled like this, or looked like that. Yeah. It's like, all right, one date, cool. But if you tell me you dated somebody for a period of time, then that says something about you. Because when she was saying, oh, well, black men cheat, it's like, no, they cheated on you. You wasn't doing something.
Right.
Like, you also look like that. And that's with hair and makeup. And you a hot 6 with hair and makeup. So shit, I'd have probably cheated on you too. Or really, she doesn't read signs well. Of like, motherfucker never, just because they were really fucking you, they weren't with you to begin with. Yeah. You think you got cheated on, and this dude don't even think he was in a relationship. He's like, what? I never dated you. I used to just come over and fuck.
And you used to give me your car.
Right. And money.
That's another thing. Chicks with money, I feel like they let themselves get stepped. Like if they, if a guy's using them for that, they're not gonna stop. You know what I mean? Like,
but a woman can always use, even if she knows what it is, she can always claim victim later on.
Of course. Yes.
Women can always claim a victim. He did whatever, and he probably sitting on some other bitch couch.
They'll be like, They'll be like, I was manipulated. I'm like, you mean you got and game on? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's part of the game.
It's part of the game.
As many guys you see like in child support court,
finesse,
or divorce court who lose half their fucking money or whatever. Yeah. We never sit there and go, I was manipulated.
Yeah, exactly.
We believe that we were going to be this couple, and now I have to pay. Like, no, we're not allowed to do that. Whatever decision we make, we gotta live with.
Well, that's why I was looking at her and I'm like, no, black dudes don't necessarily cheat. There's plenty of black dudes, like, look at fucking LeBron.
No, we do.
But men period cheat. But I'm saying singling us out was the part that I was like, no. And then she's married to a white dude, so it's like, oh, I see what this is about.
But who's to say that
trying
LeBron
to find a way to
kick
us down. Listen, I don't want to insinuate.
I think Bill Clinton still gets side pussy to this day.
I'm just saying.
What I'm saying is, how do we? No one knows.
Yeah, you don't know what he's doing, and you don't know what a relationship's agreement is, or what they.
No, right? Yeah.
His wife,
like Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, they allegedly have an open marriage.
I mean, people.
You guys heard about
that? People said that, but they clarify what that meant, though.
People allude to that.
Yeah,
but we'd never.
They clarify.
Y'all are both right. But all I'm saying is, she said in particular, black successful men, and it's like, no, Denzel, fucking Will Smith. You just named another one, Ice Cube. All married to black chicks. They're not out here getting caught up in the tabloids. I mean, look. I'm just saying. I'm just saying these are allegedly. I'm just saying.
But I'm saying
allegedly.
We're just talking. I'm saying is like, listen.
Just like you wouldn't listen. Just like you wouldn't want Denzel to sit on a podcast and be like, Ibrahim be doing some things and tell it.
No, I ain't saying he was. I'm saying what was out there.
I try not to Tekashi 6ix9ine people's relationships.
My thoughts this whole time.
I'm just saying what's out in the zeitgeist.
My thought this whole conversation.
How would Denzel say it?
Oh, I can't even. I mean, I could, but I could kind of do a Denzel.
Do it. Who gives a fuck?
Well, hang on. What am I? Hold on.
Denzel, Bill Clinton.
Now look, Monica, come here, Monica. Look, fucking Monica. No, but what I wanted to say, and I was like, Connor, should I say this? Should I not say it? Fuck it, I'm gonna say it. If it's a slavery thing, why do Spanish dudes, the number one cheaters on it? Can we all admit?
Well, that's.
I mean, come on. Hispanic motherfuckers.
I want to be number one at everything, so I ain't handing over the crown.
Just because
I just thought.
Puerto Rico is still a plantation.
Yeah, I guess.
I just thought her comments were stupid.
It is dumb. Like, it is dumb. But the thing is, like,
all men cheat, or men in general cheat.
Like the podcast I was on, this chick tried to make it seem like when black men cheat, they are so disrespectful with it, whatever. They don't do like white men do. Like, white men are even better than us at cheating.
Wow.
Like, are you fucking out of your mind? Like, that's how she was talking. I'm like, are you stupid?
If you wore a condom, that's respectful.
Yeah.
Low standard having ass.
So stupid.
Well, yeah, Lonnie Love said that shit, and I'm like, she's a comedian.
Listen,
why
man,
not?
Dude runs 5 miles a day.
I don't want to shit on her
5
too
to 8
much.
miles a day. He's all over the world. His wife was pregnant. That means he ain't getting no ass, and he gonna be somewhere.
Do the math.
I mean,
Yeah, it's like it's a perfect cocktail of fucking.
Well, also, his
of
friend
something
was
he's gonna be-
extorting him, so it was a perfect setup.
Finn extorted him.
And he's
Yeah, none of his
perfect
support system
setup.
around him.
Fucking Kevin Hart, he's famous and women are beautiful and just that's all you need to. You don't even need any of that other shit. The pregnant
Which
wife.
is- which
I don't
is
care if
funny.
her wife's not pregnant. I don't care if her wife's in the other room.
Which is
waiting
funny.
to get fucked.
Can we all kind of admit that men get successful for women?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that's
Everything
part
men do is for
of
women.
it. It's money
Everything.
and
That's
women.
why you go to work. That's why you shower.
Even if you don't take advantage of it, it's like, thanks for inboxing me. Though.
That's what makes
I
it so
appreciate
stupid
that.
when I hear women complaining about certain shit about what men do. It's like, we do it all
We
for
do
you.
all of this shit.
Yeah.
I'm writing
We
these
do-
jokes.
Yeah,
for
I'm standing
you.
on stage
for the
in
girl
front of
I couldn't
strangers,
get
I'm
in
doing
math
whatever.
class.
Exactly.
Which
That's
is-
our motivation. That's why it's so dumb when chicks be like, "We don't need men," especially
Which is
like,
funny.
I don't need a man. I said, men don't say that dumb ass
I
shit.
did
never
like
do.
like that episode of Louis where he broke it down between the black comedians and the white comedians. Did y'all see that?
No.
When Louis sitting at the table and he's like,
I see that.
we can't get chicks and or whatever, and he's like, how can we lack confidence? Then
that what Godfrey was
came
doing?
over and all of a sudden
Yeah, I
there's
saw
mad
that.
chicks around the table. Which that is one difference between the comedians. You be around like. And I mean, we all been around, so we hear the stories of like, weird fucking sexual assault and all this harassment. And you're like, well, who the fuck? And then I think sometimes, especially myself, I be thinking of the black comics that I'm around. Not to say that we're incapable of such a thing, but I always forget, like, oh shit, some of those smelly white open micers are fucking weird. Like, I remember I was at the Pair one night, and this dude standing behind one of the comic chicks, and he sniffed her hair.
Ugh.
And I'm looking like, I didn't know what to do, because I'm like, if I say something, that's going to be weird. She didn't see it. Probably don't say nothing. Just because. But then I remember looking at him and just being like, what a fucking weirdo. And then he came over by me later on in the night, and I'm just like, yeah, you fucking weird, dog. Like, what was that? He just wanted to sniff a random chick's hair.
Yeah, those guys, a lot of those nerds, man. It's like the nerd thing, and
Which is like Gwyneth Paltrow's
So
selling pussy-scented candles.
Man.
Just get your pussy-scented candle and smell that.
yeah, there's a lot of freaks out there, man. Guys buying used underwear and fucking.
Yeah.
There's dudes who pay women
Bathwater.
There's dudes bathwater.
Bathwater.
There's dudes who pay women to have them. These girls talk shit about their dick. They send the girl
That
a picture of
shit
their
is
dick,
weird.
and then they pay the girl $150 to be like, "Yo, your dick is fucking tiny or whatever."
What about
the
the
fuck.
guys who pay the girls to fart on them?
Yeah.
That
about that
too. That too. There's chicks
Is
who
there-
go to Saudi
see-
Arabia who get pooped on.
But this is the shit that's bugged out. They're talking about cheaters. Men are always cheating. Men cheat. Men cheat. Why do women talk about men cheating like we cheat by ourselves?
Yeah.
Like
that
there's
is
no
annoying. It's
like we're doing this with some invisible
Well,
bitch.
yeah,
like
yeah,
we're
oh,
doing
that's a
it
good
with
point.
them.
Right.
That's a good
So
point.
there's
Nah,
just as
definitely.
many guys
And-
who are cheating. There are women who
Women
are
who are
willing to
willing
be
to
in that
cheat.
position.
Like Phil,
Yeah.
you had that fucking great joke about R. Kelly special. Like women should respect. How come they didn't respect his marriage? You're like, if they didn't fuck a married man, R. Kelly.
I've definitely said
whatever,
that exact thing.
Surviving
before.
R. Kelly
Like,
would have
we're not
been
cheating
way
ourselves.
less parts. There would have been
You
one
guys
part.
don't care about each other, so that creates the whole thing. But yeah, it's weird because they do always blame it on us, and it's like
y'all cheat. Like,
he's a
who we
clearly
fucking?
famous married man. R. Kelly was. A lot of these dudes are clearly famous and married. Obama, Trump, or well, not Obama, but Bill Clinton. Which it's just like weird.
It's
But,
always easier to get a job. When
but
you
like
got
I
a
said,
job.
some of these creeps need
You think
that.
Obama's jealous of Bill Clinton?
What do you mean?
Because Bill Clinton, he's such a known cheater. I think he still cheats and just gets away with it. And Obama, he's like,
Obama still got a decent looking
Yes,
wife. I mean,
she's
Bill
good
Clinton
looking.
was married.
What does that
to
mean?
Hillary.
What does that mean to have a decent looking wife?
Well,
I don't care if you're married to fucking.
No, what I'm
you're
saying is
still
like,
gonna want
But
it.
no,
Hillary's not fun.
but Hillary
Yeah.
ain't shit.
Hillary's
like,
also not fun.
come on, man.
But she used
Look
to get
at
him
her.
off like, oh, let's lock the
I'm
super
saying if
predators
Obama's
up.
jealous of Bill just getting
Michelle
pussy.
Obama's the first fuckable first lady since Jackie O.
Yeah, that's true, but that
Nobody-
doesn't-
you know what I mean?
But that
Like-
doesn't matter in terms of cheating. Doesn't matter if you.
You right. But what I'm
Even
saying, I wouldn't
Melania
be.
ain't bad, but that's a lot of surgery.
I think
boy.
Bill Clinton is
Lot of
probably
surgery.
more jealous of Obama. Like,
Do
you
you-
were fucking in the White House?
Yeah, probably. yeah.
It smells.
Yeah, you were fucking in there? Like, he had
Yeah,
to
like
speak in his head in the Oval
anytime
Office.
Michelle's
surprised
like,
Bill
I
and
smell
Hillary are
something.
still
He's
together.
like, no, that was some shit from Billy.
You said
Yeah.
who is still together?
That Bill,
Michelle,
I'm surprised
Barack.
Bill and Hillary are still
They're
together.
not together.
But
That's
I-
for appearances.
Yeah,
dude.
well, I guess for
You think
appearances,
for
they don't want to
appearances.
give in to their enemies and shit. Like, haha,
That is
see,
Frank
they fucking-
Underwood
Do you-
and that was the Underwoods, bro.
Do you
Them
think
two.
with this week or was it this week when Cory Booker dropped? God, I'm so immature. I want to call him Corny Booker every time.
Oh, he is.
And
Go ahead.
Kamala Harris. Do you think Obama brags every time he celebrates and lights a cigarette every
lights
time
a
a black
cigar.
candidate gets put out?
Somewhere in the
He's
back.
Like
of
I
his head,
told you,
probably.
there'll never be another nigga like me.
That's pretty good.
Bathhouse Barry.
That's a Bathhouse Bear.
Bathhouse Barry,
That's
goddammit.
funny.
As he's known to Alex Jones fans.
Bathhouse Barry.
Don't look that
Got
shit
Black
up.
Hawk helicopters.
Don't look that shit
How
up.
about the big news this week is fucking Liz Warren and Bernie Sanders. She just lied on him.
Did she lie?
Yes.
I didn't quite read up on
I
her
thought-
because
I
I
thought
thought she had a
she's-
chance to take a cheat shot, and then she said no, he didn't say that.
Here's what happened. It's coming down to a week away from the primary. They're neck and neck in the polls. I'm talking like 20.1. He's like 20.2. So her and her team, they decided to say, oh, last year Bernie came to me in a
Sexist.
private conversation, which you can't prove. It's a private conversation. Bernie told me that a woman can't win. So at the debate, the chick asked, the woman asked, the moderator asked Bernie, did you say that? He goes, absolutely not. Categorically deny it. I would never say that. He goes, you can find YouTube links of me in 1987 talking to kids being like, a woman could be president, blah, 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 blah. So then that same interviewer, after his denial, then turns to Sanders, who's standing right next to him. She goes, how did you feel when Bernie told you a woman couldn't win? She didn't say, what's your response to Bernie denying that? She just said, how did you feel? It was so fucked up, the audience laughed. Like, that journalism
like
was
it
so
was very
bad,
clearly-
the audience laughed.
It's clear what they're trying to do.
Biased question.
And, she's a proven liar.
Who, Warren?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she did say she was Cherokee.
She's a proven liar.
Yeah.
And...
$25 Indian ass. Oh, $5, excuse me.
So, I mean, that shit pissed me off. Nothing really pisses me off these days politically. I don't care.
Yeah,
but
I
that
don't give a
shit,
fuck.
I was like, what the fuck, man? I wanted
But
to throw the
I thought
remote at the TV. Like,
I thought she took the high road though with that question. I heard something where she just responded and was like, "Nah, actually, he didn't say that."
no.
What did?
Check out the clip.
What
She's
is
like,
what I heard?
Didn't they have a
she just said-
confrontation after the thing?
yeah, and she was like, you called me a liar. That was what
He's like,
that
we'll,
was.
we'll talk about it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, let's talk about it.
We'll talk
we
about
will
it
talk later. Let us not do this here.
Let's not do this.
Yeah,
here.
let's not do this here. And then the other guy was like trying to get in between them. I just wanted to say hi, Bernie. And
Yeah,
Bernie
yeah.
just goes, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
He's like, he's like, yeah, good, nice. And he walks away.
Hilarious.
But man-
yeah, all of that shit is boring. At this point, it's like have a fucking arm wrestling match or some shit.
Do something. I don't know.
Do something, anything. I'll ask y'all about this and then we'll get the fuck out of here. New York City is known for being pretty safe these days. January 1st, they abolished bail for a lot of crimes. I seen arson, like small arson, was on the list. I think it matters how much shit you burn down, but a lot of people are really scared that it's going to put a lot of people back on the streets that maybe shouldn't be on the streets. I don't really know how I feel about it one way or the other, but anyway, off-duty cop, I think yesterday morning, was hit in the face on the train with a bike chain by an on-duty criminal.
Fire on duty, curable.
Can't take no days off, man. When you a cop, you gotta
That's
fucking,
good.
you gotta get the fuck out there, man, and make it happen. So yeah, do you feel like that's something that's gonna have the streets like more criminals on the street?
Well,
I know I
what I was
definitely would
telling-
think about smacking a motherfucker.
What I
more
was
now.
telling you, Phil, before is that they're focusing on the dude who got out and then immediately went and stabbed somebody, but they don't mention all the people who just fucking stole a grape at the grocery store and they got to get out.
Right.
Which is the vast majority of people that they're arresting. So, me personally, we'll see how it ends up a year from now. Because if it gets real wild, they're gonna redo it or undo it or whatever. But
well, what I think about is the system that money. They just like money. Like the whole thing set up.
that's
for
why I was
money.
shocked that it is, because bail is money. So
Like even when you look at like high profile cases, like look at Meek
is
Mills.
it that it's automatic bail, that you get the opportunity to get bail, or is it you just automatically don't even have to worry, they just release you?
It's that you await your trial. Now, granted,
But you always
it's
get
supposed to
awaited
be
trial.
non-violent offenses and small violent. Infractions.
And most of the time, it's those people who don't have money to even afford bail.
Right.
So, yeah.
So they say like Khalif
Most
Browder.
cases they just release you without bail anyway. Most cases it's just like,
Well, yeah, small shit. But then, like I said, I looked at some of the list of the things they were listing was like small arson. Then something called like assault with no injury, and I'm like, oh, so if you hit somebody but your hit was weak, they'll let you
somebody
go.
on the ass like Odell Beckham did.
That's wild. I can't believe
with, all
they're really.
assault with no injury is word of mouth. He hit me, she hit me. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all that is. Assault with no injury. That's word of mouth assault. Which
But
is,
what I really read when I read it was basically be on alert, man. What the fuck? Because some people be doing some shit that it's just like, hey, man, I don't need $2,500 to get bail no more. So watch what the fuck you say to me.
yeah, but shouldn't you always be on alert?
Yeah, definitely in
Regardless.
fucking New York. Hell yeah,
Yeah.
you better be on fucking alert, man. It's always some shit going on
Also,
in
if
the
you're gonna do
trains.
those crimes anyway, you're not thinking about bail. You don't even care.
You're not thinking about none of that
You
shit.
don't
You're
care
not
if
in
you
your
go to
right
jail,
mind.
man. I know criminals. Criminals don't give a fuck about the penalties.
You going into your Trumpism now.
No, just
I know criminals. I know good criminals. They're
look,
good
Phil,
people
nobody
on
knows
both
criminals.
sides.
Nobody knows criminals like I know criminals. Believe it. We're gonna win the criminal vote.
Good people on both sides.
Fucking good.
They are impeaching your boy today. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw, but he's gonna beat the rap. He's the
That motherfucker is Teflon. I can't
yeah,
believe they
I
have.
studied
They
up
still
on it.
ain't showed them tax papers yet.
He still hasn't showed the tax papers. He's like I say, he's the Suge Knight of presidents.
His tweets are
it's-
fucking insane, motherfucker. The last thing I seen, he said some shit about like he was like, "Yo, I fucking made a phone call. I fucked up or something like that." It's just like, who tweets this shit every fucking
Dude,
day?
he's Teflon, and here's my only opinion on Trump. It's the greatest show on earth.
Yeah.
It's the
Do you-
Ringling Barnum Bailey circus.
Do you think at all that like with Bush and how social media has helped more people like him and like soften his image with time that Trump like
I say-
10 years
I
from
say
now
anything's-
people will look back on it
I
as
say
less?
anything is possible, and I say if everybody could love George W. Bush now, who fucking got us into 3 wars.
Michelle gave him that candy.
Fucking yeah, the candy shit, man. This country is so fucking stupid. This is
And
the
so
dumbest.
forgiving.
This is the so forgiving
So
and not
forgiving.
okay. When I say this country's so stupid, not like any other country. I don't know where the genius.
Was
country
forgiving
at.
to certain people.
It's forgiving to certain people.
Usually
exactly.
not my color.
Exactly. And so I mean, who the fuck knows? All I know
Which
is
is
that
weird because people I feel like it's a pendulum and it switches. Like if they liked you while you were in, they hate you when you're out. Like Bill Clinton now,
yeah.
how people look at him, mass
They hate his
incarceration
guts,
and all
they
that
like
shit.
Bush now.
But back then it was cool to say, "Oh, he's the black president because he
Black
smokes
president, yeah.
weed," which is just like, "Oh, shut the fuck up."
So-
Have some fucking
Right.
standards.
So who knows how society's gonna view Trump? What I do think is that his properties and shit are gonna be valued more, but that's gonna be like 300 years from now. It's gonna be like it'll be like if George Washington owned hotels and
You
shit.
think he's gonna win again? You think he's gonna win again?
100%.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
If he talk this much shit while he's in, when that motherfucker's out, he ain't never shut
And I say he's gonna win because I'm watching closely the Democrats, and I'm seeing these guys. I'm watching these debates. They're so soft on how to. If you remember Trump's debates, he was like, "Yo, your hair is fucked up."
Battle rap.
Yeah, he said to the Rand Paul guy, he's like, "Yo, I haven't touched your looks." He's like, "Look at his hair." Like Trump
he
was just
out
like,
there
"Pow,
doing
pow,
your
pow."
mama jokes.
Bernie,
when that
every
motherfucker-
opportunity Bernie gets, when he could have been like, "Yo, that bitch lied," because that's what Trump would have done. He's like, "I don't want to get into that."
When
Bruh!
it's like when that motherfucker brought out Bill's accusers.
Yeah, and
that might be one of the greatest debate tricks of all. That was some Mari shit.
And did a press
That was
conference.
some
about
Mari
Def Jam,
shit.
wailing Tic Tac.
Yeah, that was some wild
audience.
shit, bro. That it's like, who can match that? But I do think Democrats, I don't think you can play dirty. I think it's just like, you know how a crazy person on the train is just screaming, and you got to just look straight forward. I don't think you can respond because I think he does that shit so good. It's like once you start playing this game, he's always gonna win at. Once you go to the mud.
Yeah. But my thing is, this is the reason why I think he's gonna win is because Trump is big business in terms of whenever he tweets, whatever he puts out, it makes everybody money. Yeah. It makes the news cycle goes, the Twitter goes, Facebook goes, everyone goes. Even the people who oppose him are more famous with him being president.
They sell anti-Trump buttons, anti-Trump T-shirts, anti-Trump hats. The guys out there across from Trump Tower sell $1 million. I personally can attest, not just the tattoo. Remember when he called Hillary Clinton a nasty woman, and that became the biggest hashtag?
Oh, yeah.
I got that show I did with Wanda Sykes, that sketch show. It was called Nasty Women.
Wow.
If that motherfucker hadn't...
He's a Brandon genius.
Insulted that bitch. Off the dome, that put money in my fucking pocket. Flew me to LA.
He called Kim Jong, he called him Rocket Man and hung out with the motherfucker.
Think about Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters she's Auntie Maxine.
Yeah.
She does all these TV appearances. Yeah. She gets money.
Yeah,
wow,
she's
because
she
is a meme and a gift.
She's anti-Trump. The moment you get Andrew Yang or Bernie Sanders or somebody in there, they're going to be boring presidents. No one's going to make money.
You know what was great, though, too? Was
that's a great
that as he gained power and once he won, he had no use for them. Right. Stacey Dash got fired. Right. Who else got fired? A lot of people got fired. Remember, he had the Breitbart dude rolling with him. He said,
Christie. Christie.
Yeah, he said he had the Breitbart dude rolling with him, and he said, "Shit, I no longer need you."
Yeah, he used their vote base.
Yo, do you guys remember when Christie became like his fucking dog? It was like he dropped out, and then Christie was like, "Okay, I'll jump on the Trump train." So he was doing his speech for Trump. He was introducing him. He was like, "Guys, Donald Trump." So Trump comes up and he goes, and it was caught on the hot mic. He's like, "All right, get on the plane, go home. Get on the plane, go home, go."
And he's like, okay.
He's like, yes, Donald.
He was so hoping to be the vice president. That piece of shit from a piece of shit governor. I'm Jersey, so I
start questioning that in the same way that we were talking about those documentaries, to where it's almost like, do y'all need people to be murdered? Like, we're all watching this shit. Who's making money from this?
Right.
Are y'all giving anything to their families or anybody?
The documentary?
Yeah, with the victims. The victims almost become like nothing.
Right. I'm more alarmed at how fast movies and documentaries are made right after tragedies or after a murder. Usually it used to take years of research, years of talking to people, years of
the body don't even body not even in the ground,
right,
and they like, yo, we got a documentary.
And it's like, we have that's like one of the things that kind of threw me off back in the day, like around 9/11 or whatever, like 2002, 2003, where you had Flight 93 movie.
Yeah,
like, how the fuck you have a Flight 93 movie?
Already?
This shit only happened 2 years ago.
Right.
Where's all the facts? It's like they literally can get motherfuckers to just write we'll fill in the blanks.
Yeah. Like I always think about that for 9/11, for Juicy, the song.
Juicy.
Time to get paid, blow up like the World Trade. Because the DJ went back to work the next day, played that song, and then motherfuckers called, hey, if you don't turn that shit off, and now every time they play it, they blur out, blow up like the World Trade, which he was talking about the original
93 bombing, yeah.
93 bombing, which, by the way, Biggie just got the fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which they might have to change the fucking name, and we'll wrap it up on this. Bad Boys 3, we going to see it?
Oh, hell yeah.
I do want to see that shit. I do. I love the first movie. Martin and Will together.
The second one.
Yeah, I didn't. The second one.
Michael Bay was the second one. The third one is Michael Bay too, right?
The first one.
The first was off.
But it's always nothing's ever better than the first one.
I'm in it purely for the nostalgia.
But yeah, I love seeing Martin and Will together.
What made the first was so special is that that movie came out at the same time that Fresh Prince was hot and Martin's show was hot. So you had these two motherfuckers with comedy shows that came together and made that movie.
Fuck yeah.
It was almost like the way Redman and Method Man coming together at that time back in the day, coming out with How High.
That's
not
funny,
the movie How High, but the song.
That's what I was thinking about with Chappelle doing the speech and mentioning Tony Woods as his mentor. Where I'm like, not only do these motherfuckers similar in comedy style, they look similar. It's like Michael Jordan and Clyde Drexler. Where if I was fucking Clyde Drexler, I would have fucking put Michael Jordan ass in a trunk. Fuck that, motherfucker. Just average 6 points more than me and jumped a little bit higher than me. You gotta fucking go.
Clyde Drexler ain't had no left hand. That was his problem.
Might be, and they would think about drafting them together if you know. And they didn't. But anyway, I like the interviews Martin and Will are doing, the press tours, because they did Breakfast Club and didn't mention Kevin Hart not once. Motherfuckers is paid and happy.
Fuck yeah.
Because every time somebody fucking goes on Breakfast Club, it starts a shit storm. And Charlamagne tried a few times, and Martin and Will was like, "You slick, man. I see what you do. Your eyes are squint a little bit." And you'll ask a nice question.
Did he say that to him?
Then he said it to him. He said your eyes will squint a little bit, and that's how you know you're about to ask some trolling shit that's gonna start a shit storm. But that's who I've been fucking missing, Cat Williams, because that motherfucker set shit off.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm still laughing about that last interview with Wanda. When it wasn't even Cat's interview, it was Red Grant's interview.
That's so great you brought up Cat, because it harkens me back to the first question you asked me on this podcast. Do I feel like an outlaw? I want to quote Cat Williams, because he said something that I identify with so much on every level. He said, he's like, I know a lot of y'all think I'm out there looking for trouble. That's not true. Trouble hides in the bushes looking for me. And that's the story of my motherfucking life.
And sometimes it's right in front of a Dunkin' Donuts.
Or a honey baked ham.
Honey baked ham. All right. Tell everybody where to find you at, Jason.
You can find me on @JasonScoop on everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything. Look me up.
Find me as usual at I am Phil Hunt on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Funnyphil.com. Upcoming shows Monday, Stand Up New York, Martin Luther King Day. I'll be there. You know, that's what he dreamed about. You got any upcoming shows, Jason? Next week. This is coming out next week.
Actually, you mentioned Tony Woods. This isn't confirmed yet, but it's about to be confirmed, so hopefully, fingers crossed. I should be featuring for Tony Woods at the Hartford Funny Bone, 29th, 30th, and 31st.
Awesome. Ibrahim?
Yeah, Ibrahim Khalif, IbrahimKhalif on Instagram, Ibrahim Khalif 83 on Twitter, Ibrahim Khalif on Facebook. I'm upcoming shows. I'm about to leave this motherfucker and go to one right now. Concussion Comedy, West 181st, right?
But this don't come out till next week.
Whatever.
Week at the Creek.
I got Week at the Creek running from MLK Day to the 25th, 7 o'clock. Got a great host of comedians that's going to slide through. So
hey, thanks for listening. Like, share, subscribe, you bastards.